Hi, everyone. Jim Masters here, welcoming you to a very special tribute episode as we celebrate and remember the entertainment icon, the one and only legendary television host, game show host, entertainer extraordinaire, and singer, Regis Philbin. We miss him greatly. He was a dear friend. I wanted to put an episode like this together celebrating Regis's life. And we're going to do that right now for all of you on the Jim Masters Show. Here we go. We miss Regis Philbin. He was one of the greats in entertainment and television and so much more. And on this very special tribute episode of the Jim Masters Show, Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show series, we are going to remember him in style and celebrate him and some of those famous moments that you may remember. Of course, Regis Philbin graced us with his wit and wisdom for so many years on television, on some of your favorite shows, from game shows to talk shows, lots of commercials, and lots more. And he also performed on stage with legends like Don Rickles and so many other greats as well. And he left an indelible mark in all of our lives in the world of entertainment and television. And as a result, again, as I mentioned, for the longest time, I wanted to put together something very special. You know, we've been celebrating some of the legends recently with tribute episodes here on the Jim Masters Show, one of the exclusive features of our series, and we hope you're enjoying them. And I wanted to take some time to remember and reflect on the life of Regis. Again, the man who said he carried the network, the man who constantly said, "I'm only one man." He was one of the best, originally from New York, as I am too. And as a television host and a broadcaster and a journalist and a presenter, a radio host, on-camera talent, and behind-the-scenes producer, myself, working in this industry, I've always admired Regis and some of the greats like Regis Philbin and Dick Cavett and Johnny Carson, Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas, Steve Allen, Jack Parr, you know, the legends in the industry who paved the way for the rest of us who work in the industry. Well, Regis Philbin certainly did that with his wit, his wisdom, his affable personality. I knew him personally and had an opportunity on a number of occasions to chat with him, and we were at similar events together as well. And I have to tell you that he was one of the nicest guys on the planet. He was real, he was funny, he was affable, he was the real deal, he was a straight shooter, but he also made everybody feel like $1,000,000, like you were his great friend. He did that for so many people, viewers and people, throughout the years. And I think that's so wonderful. Again, I had an opportunity to know him, so I can say right off the bat that he was one of the sweetheart giants of our industry. And he is missed. We lost him in 2020. And it seems like it was just yesterday. So we're going to have an opportunity to share with all of our viewers, our fantastic viewers who love what we do here on the Jim Masters Show and who watch and follow us. We're going to take a moment to remember Regis together. And I invite you to share your memories as well. Interact with us. Drop a comment right below in the comments section on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Regis, of course, passed away in 2020, but he is fondly remembered, still talked about, still revered, still celebrated to this day. Because again, he was one of the giants in the industry. Tell you a little bit about his amazing background. He was actually born Regis Francis Xavier Philbin, August 25th, 1931, and we lost him on July 25th, 2020, an American television presenter, talk show host, game show host, comedian, actor, and singer, once called the hardest working man in show business. He also held the Guinness World Record for the most hours spent on U.S. television. Isn't that amazing? After graduating from his beloved University of Notre Dame, Regis Philbin served in the U.S. Navy. You might not have known that, but he certainly did. But going back even further, when he grew up in New York, there's a shot of him serving in the Navy, giving to our country. There he is as a baby. There is our Regis Philbin in the carriage. And again, he was born in New York back in 1931 in August. And again, I'm sure that was a groundbreaking, newsworthy day when he was born. And there he is, another shot of him as a child. That is the one and only Regis Philbin. Had fun, gathering the research for this episode. There's another shot of young Regis growing up in New York City. And, he was always an entertainer. He was always full of life and of passion and of dreams, And I think that's a beautiful thing. Here he is as he's making his mark in school. And then I mentioned as well in the Navy, serving the country in grand style. And of course, then comes the entertainer. Then comes the opportunities to do what he does and did best. Matter of fact, he got his television start serving as a page for The Tonight Show in the 1950s. And he got his first network television exposure in 1967 as Joey Bishop's sidekick on The Joey Bishop Show. Now, of course, you remember Joey Bishop. If you don't, if it's new to you, be sure and Google and check out Joey Bishop, another very, very funny talent. And he had his own show. He also had his own sitcom, which I believe the nostalgic channels also re-air. We saw it, I think it was on Antenna TV. It was really cool to see. But he had his own talk show as well. And Regis Philbin was his sidekick, getting that national exposure on the Joey Bishop Show. And that's Joey Bishop, of course, right there at the bottom of your screen. And that's the whole crew. But then after the Joey Bishop Show experience, which again was something unique and special for Regis, because again, his name became a household name during those years. Of course, he's most widely known as the co-host of Live with Regis and Kathie Lee, which started, it actually started originally as the morning show in the early 80s. And then, of course, morphed into Live with Regis and Kathie Lee, and then Live with Regis and Kelly. But in addition to that, before any of that, and we're going to show you some really cool things, he had his own show. It was the Regis Philbin Show, which was something really cool. And that was in LA. And his co-host was the one and only Mary Hart. Mary Hart, of course, you may remember as the original host and longtime host of the beloved entertainment series, news magazine series, Entertainment Tonight. Well, Regis Philbin and Mary Hart were teamed up on the Regis Philbin Show as co-hosts. He also hosted AM Los Angeles. Now, in this photo that we dug up for this tribute episode of the Jim Masters Show, you see Regis Philbin there, and his co-host at the time was Cindy Garvey, the ex-wife of legendary baseball star from the Dodgers, Steve Garvey. And they were teamed up, Cindy and Regis, in Los Angeles, co-hosting AM Los Angeles. So again, he's been doing this for a long time, many, many years on television in its different ways, shapes, and forms. And so AM Los Angeles came, and then there was an opportunity for the ABC television network and the local station, WABC TV Channel 7 in New York City, to create a local, sort of maybe a local version of the AM Los Angeles. It was called The Morning Show, and it was really, really cool. It was on Channel 7 in New York City, locally, before it went national. So Regis Philbin was doing the talk show at Channel 7 WABC TV in New York City in the ABC building. And that was before Live went national. And his original host, again, he was teamed up with Cindy Garvey. Cindy Garvey was the original co-host with Regis Philbin of the morning show on WABC TV Channel 7. And then when Cindy Garvey moved on, there was another host. You might not remember this. There might be new information coming your way here. He was teamed up with Ann Abernathy. She was the second co-host with Regis Philbin as the show started to grow and the show started to take off. And then when Ann moved on, who was next? Somebody that they spotted on Good Morning America that they teamed up with Regis. And I think it was a terrific pairing, Kathie Lee Johnson, who became Kathie Lee Gifford. Kathie Lee Johnson was not only a correspondent on Good Morning America, she had worked in television for a long time. She was also on the game show Name That Tune. And she would hum the notes to the songs that people would be guessing the title of. They teamed up Regis Philbin and Kathie Lee Johnson, Kathie Lee Gifford, at that time, wife of Frank Gifford. I had an opportunity to know Kathie Lee and Frank Gifford as well. Wonderful people. So it took off from there, folks, and the rest is history, because they were teamed up, I think it was almost like 15 years until Kathie Lee moved on. But I think it was a great pairing because they would razz each other. They would talk about their day. Kathie Lee would always have so much fun with Regis, sort of keep him on the straight and narrow. I also love the episodes when Regis would co-host with his wife, Joy Philbin. When Kathie Lee was off or out for the day, I think it was a terrific matchup when Joy, his lovely wife Joy, was teamed up with Regis on the show. But of course, that teaming was really amazing. And then when Kathie Lee moved on, and of course, later she worked on the Today Show with Hoda Kotb and has done so much more. She's a film producer and lots more in her life now. And hopefully we'll welcome her to the show at some point. Then when Kathie Lee moved on, Kelly Ripa, who was on All My Children, she was a soap opera star. She got the opportunity to co-host with and become the permanent co-host after a big search, many different rotating co-hosts they had paired with Regis. She became the co-host of Regis and Kelly, Live with Regis and Kelly. And of course, Kelly Ripa still hosts the show today with her husband, Mark Consuelos, and that's on the ABC television network. But yeah, there was quite a pattern of co-hosts with Cindy Garvey and then Ann Abernathy, and then for the longest time, Kathie Lee, as well as then Kelly Ripa. And again, you know, so many laughs, so many great memories with all of the co-hosts, and just a morning staple. Here's a little clip, a little promo we have actually with Regis and Kathie Lee. They're promoting an upcoming episode of The Morning Show, as it was originally called before it became Live. It moved on to be called Live when it went national on the ABC television network. But again, before that, it was called The Morning Show, and it was a local show on WABC TV, the ABC owned and operated affiliated station, Channel 7 in New York City. Take a look at this promo, and we'll continue our very special tribute to the one and only Regis Philbin.
Kathie Lee, look deep into the future and tell me what you see.
I see stars, Reed. Stars all next week on the morning show.
Singing stars. I see Connie Francis and Natalie Cole. Acting stars, Raymond Burr and Benny Thomas from Hill Street Blues.
Turkeys. I see turkeys for Thanksgiving. How to stuff them, how to carve them, how to make them look terrific on the table. Turkeys.
I see a special Thanksgiving Day show with the memories of your favorite moments with Judy Carter, Alan King, and Ed McMahon, and Debbie Reynolds.
And don't forget the fashionable Mr. Blackwell.
A great promo from back in the day when it was the morning show on WABC Channel 7, and then, of course, became national with Live with Regis and Kathie Lee. Of course, as we know, he had a wonderful friendship with Don Rickles, and they would perform together on stage. They've done it in Vegas. They did it in Atlantic City. They did it at the Mohegan Sun and I believe Foxwoods casinos in Connecticut. And there was just when the two of them were together with their sort of New York vibe, the humor, the quick wit, it was always hilarious. And I would always look forward to the times when Regis and Don Rickles were paired together. Don will also sometimes be a fill-in on the show with Regis when Kathie Lee was off. And I think maybe when Kelly was off as well. But those moments were hilarious, absolutely hilarious. And again, as I mentioned, Regis is sadly missed. And he is one of those great, great talents that just over the many, many years inspired us in so many different ways. He hosted a lot of great game shows too, well known as the original host of the American version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which was the most watched primetime series of the 1999-2000 U.S. television season as well. He also hosted the first season. Now, you may have forgotten this because this show has been on for so many years and such a long time, but he was the original host of America's Got Talent. That's right. And Regis, because he was doing the live show with Kathie Lee in New York City at ABC, he would actually fly back and forth between New York and Los Angeles to host first season of America's Got Talent. And of course, he, as I mentioned, he was the original host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And that show, when that debuted also on ABC, was incredibly popular. Other hosts were Meredith Vieira, Jimmy Kimmel has done special versions, and others. But Regis still, again, is fondly remembered as the original host. And, during his career, he garnered Emmys for his extraordinary work, and well-deserved. And he also hosted $1 Million Password. Now, you may remember that too. I don't know if you remember that show, but he hosted that as well. So, yeah, he was in the game show circuit as much as he was the talk show circuit and singing on stage and entertaining. He also had several albums out as well. Lots of music with Regis Philbin from the early days. It's time for Regis. Here's some great shots of him in the studio. And this music is all still available too, I believe, even on Spotify and iTunes and wherever you get your music. He had a Christmas album out as well, singing all the Christmas favorites and the holiday tunes as well. But again, he was a consummate entertainer and just somebody of an era that seems to be going by, with the warmth and the sincerity, the quick wit, the humor. But again, it's my pleasure to have an opportunity to take a moment to share these memories of Regis Philbin. And again, I encourage you, if you have a memory, did you like when he was doing the show live? Did you like when he was doing the game shows, Millionaire, and of course, America's Got Talent? May again have forgotten that, but that's something that he did initially. And I think just when you think about the body of work, it really is absolutely extraordinary. I was going through, taking a look at so many of the things that beloved Regis Philbin was a part of, and many more than what I'm even describing and sharing with you here on the show. He truly was one of the most popular talk show hosts in America. And as I mentioned, I had an opportunity to know him personally, and I wanted to share that with you. I know I've mentioned this in my professional work on television and radio, and also a couple of times on the Jim Masters Show series when we've had various television-related guests on our show. he was just really amazing. He was an only child growing up in the Bronx, New York. And he really, he made himself known. As I said, he also had an opportunity to, say that he carried the network. And I loved that line. After moving to California, as I mentioned, he got his own show, the Regis Philbin Show. Now, that show, the Regis Philbin Show, was actually broadcast out of San Diego. It was KGTV in San Diego that initially broadcast the Regis Philbin Show. And there was no writing team. And the show sort of moved on. It would become the hallmark where he engages his audience and discussions about life and events of the day. And again, it was then that he got that first break as Joey Bishop's sidekick. And that's back in 1961 on the Joey Bishop Show. So there's this trajectory of things that happened in his life. And Bishop, of course, liked to tease Regis Philbin. But the teasing did stop when Regis walked off the stage on a live broadcast and stayed away for several days. So then the teasing sort of then ended. And as I mentioned later on, he hosted back in 1975 AM Los Angeles with Cindy Garvey. And that was quite popular as well. But, Regis, of course, was always destined for bigger things. That was a local talk show on KABC TV in Los Angeles. With his presence on that show on AM Los Angeles, it was the #1 show in its time slot in Los Angeles. On the show, Sarah Purcell was the first co-host. We're showing you Cindy Garvey, but actually Sarah Purcell, who went on to co-host the show Real People. Remember Real People on NBC? Matter of fact, we had the creator of Real People as a special guest on the Jim Masters show, and that is John Barber. On the Jim Masters show, we had John Barber as a special guest talking about the creation of that iconic series on NBC with Byron Allen and Sarah Purcell and McLean Stevenson and the whole gang. And that was on NBC. It was Real People. And it was the first kind of show showing real people of its kind on network television. Sarah Purcell went on to host that. That was in the 1980s. But she was the first co-host with Regis of AM Los Angeles. And then Cindy Garvey came along. And then they ended up in New York together with the morning show. And again, that's some of the trajectory. And as I mentioned as well, Cindy Garvey left and he was joined by Kathie Lee Gifford. And the ratings went through the roof when Kathie Lee and Regis were teamed up on the show. They just had a great synergy, energy, rapport, respect for one another. And when Kathie Lee Gifford left the show, which was called Live with Regis and Kathie Lee, then, of course, Kelly came in as well. During the search for a replacement for Kathie Lee, that is when Regis won the Daytime Emmy Award as host. Well-deserved, long overdue as well. And during that search, the Daytime Emmy Award was for Outstanding Talk Show Host. That was his first and only daytime award. And later on, when Kelly Ripa was brought in, then it became, of course, Live with Regis and Kelly Ripa. And as I mentioned, Kelly still hosts the show to this day. So many incredible performances, too, as I mentioned, as a wonderful singer. Besides being a successful TV host, there's lots more that this iconic figure in American history did. So many great things that he did. Here's a few of them. He was a game show host on a short-lived game show called The Neighbors in 1975, in which part of the game is that a contestant, usually a woman, would have to find out which one of her neighbors is gossiping about her. Then he hosted Almost Anything Goes in 1975. Neither show really took off, but then, of course, he hosted Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in 1999. And that really became one of the most popular shows on TV. And that show ended in 2002, much to the surprise of many, many people. It did get to the point where they were airing it, multiple times. And, maybe it ran its course for a while and then came back with Meredith Vieira, who's a wonderful talent. She used to be a reporter on WCBS TV Channel 2 in New York. She was one of the original co-hosts of The View on ABC and just a consummate journalist and host. She had her own talk show a few years ago, the Meredith Vieira Show. And she came in with a new version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire as well. And he won his second daytime Emmy for Outstanding Game Show Host. And that, again, was for his time hosting Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So, again, definitely well-earned and well-deserved. And then he signed a contract for Millionaire's spinoff in 2004. And instead of $1 million, it was $10 million. However, that show didn't really last. That show disappeared within, unfortunately, 4 months' time. It just wasn't something that, it ran its course, I guess, very, very quickly. But it's still remembered. And again, the game show career didn't end there because they hosted that first season of America's Got Talent with Pierce Morgan, Brandy Norwood, and David Hasselhoff. They were the original judges on that show. Again, you've seen a lot of different judges on America's Got Talent, the American version of that British TV series, because there's Britain's Got Talent as well. And we've had several people who have been contestants on America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent who have been guests on our show here on the Jim Master Show. But the original host, Regis Philbin. The judges, Pierce Morgan, Brandy Norwood, and David Hasselhoff, you remember, was the star of Knight Rider in the 80s on ABC, and then he did a singing career as well. And besides television, Regis Philbin was also the author of 2 books, I'm Only One Man and Who Wants to Be Me? Great titles. Here's one of them right here. There's another one, How I Got This Way. Again, terrific read and really, really great page turner. And I mentioned that to Regis when I chatted with him. I loved his books, and I'm Only One Man Who Wants to Be Me. And again, there's the one I just showed you as well. He was also a singer in the style of a crooner, such as Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. He loved doing that. He loved entertaining people, and he loved singing on stage and performing. He did a lot of charitable work as well. He lived in Greenwich, Connecticut, and he passed away at 88 of natural causes back in July of 2020. And again, sadly missed. And just a great, great talent who left an indelible mark on all of us. And you can still hear his voice. You can still hear his laugh. And again, he was reunited not that long before he passed away on the Today Show with Kathie Lee and Hoda Kotb. He made an appearance on there as well. And you may remember that. You could probably see clips of that on the internet. That was very, very special. And you can see the fondness that Kathie Lee and Regis continued to have for one another. You know, also, Regis would go and do some roving reporting when he was on live, and he was on the morning show. And we've got a clip here. This is actually something separate. This was back in 1991 at the National Association of Television Programming Executives, NATPE. And Vanna White was there, and Pat Sajak, of course, from Wheel of Fortune. And this is a cool clip that we have that was sent to us by our dear friend Evie DeMassa. And we used that for a very special episode where he was a guest on our show. And it's just something really, really cool. And we've done a special tribute on Wheel of Fortune and so many other terrific people. We've done specials on Florence Henderson and Joan Crawford recently. And we did a special celebrating Dick Van Dyke and Cindy Williams and Tina Turner and Marilyn Monroe and so many others. But here's a really cool clip. Regis being Regis, and he's attending as a roving reporter the National Association of Television Programming Executives conference in 1991. And he comes up on Vanna White. Take a look, and we'll be back.
So these are some of the sights and sounds of the NAPTE convention. Well, there they are, that happy couple. You've seen them a million times now. Pat Sajak and Vanna White. We'll see if they are at home today. Oh, my gosh, we're in luck. There is Vanna White, all a part of the wild NAPTE scene. Wearing pink today. Hi, Vanna. How you doing?
How are you?
Nice to see you. Well, how is the old married lady?
She's great.
Oh, yeah, she looks pretty good.
Thanks.
Everything agreeing with you?
Absolutely.
Really?
Couldn't be happier.
Made a big change in your life?
Yeah.
Is he here today?
No.
He let you come down alone with all of these. Look, fan over here. What do you animals want? Get back. This is a married woman. Please. No big changes in your life. Pat Sajak isn't jealous. Everything's okay?
Everything's great.
Oh, that's good. Hey, you've heard a lot about high density, high definition television. Well, that's what it looks like. If we can get a better look, it's drawing quite a crowd here. And as you can see, the quality of the picture is, it certainly is improved over what we have in our homes, isn't it? Colors are so vivid. That's the future, folks. Take a look at it. You'll be seeing it soon.
That was wonderful. Again, we lost Regis in July of 2020, and he is still fondly remembered and greatly missed. And I encourage you to share your memories of this iconic television personality and entertainer, the one and only Regis Philbin. Again, he grew up in New York. He loved his Notre Dame, his alma mater. He talked about it often. And he loved people. He really did. If you were blessed to have an opportunity to know, work with, meet Regis Philbin, he was a character for sure. He never lost that New York touch. He was proud of his Irish side. He was proud of his Italian side. And if you had an opportunity to ever know him, even if you spent just 2 minutes with him, maybe saw him on a sidewalk, and maybe you were in the studio audience of one of his shows, maybe you were a guest on his show, maybe you worked with him, or maybe you just admired him. Whatever the case may be, you know what I'm talking about when I say that he really was something special. And he always had a great time, and he was the real deal. He made you feel good. You laughed. You forgot about your day. You forgot about the troubles. And again, I really loved it when he and his lovely wife, Joy, who's still with us, fortunately, and his wonderful children, when they would be paired up together on live as co-hosts, I thought that was a great pairing, an absolutely great pairing. Again, he will be fondly remembered as one of those true gentlemen. He was a gentleman too. If you got a chance to chat with him, as I did, which again, I fondly remember, and blessed to have the opportunities on several occasions to do that. He was just one of those guys that you could approach. He would give you the time of day. You'd have a laugh with him. And oftentimes, he would impart some phenomenal advice. He knew that I was a television host and a radio host, and have been for a long time, nationally, regionally, and locally, and that I've worn all these different hats in the industry. And then I absolutely, like Regis, love what I do. I love interacting with people. I love celebrating. I love interviewing. I love hosting and producing, all the different things I've done, just like Regis. And I shared with Regis what I thought of him when I had opportunities to chat with him, how I thought he was not only talented and funny, but he was a gentleman. He was a class act. He was one of the greats. And he was taken back by that and very moved when I would share that with him. And he saw me do some emceeing work, master of ceremonies work, which was a beautiful thing. And he had said the same thing back to me, which I thought was, I mean, you may remember when we did the Florence Henderson tribute, I mentioned the conversations I had with Florence Henderson and what we both said to each other, sort of admiring and respecting one another. Same thing with Regis Philbin. I admired and respected him. But he said that he admired my work and had a great respect for me and my work. And there was a similar quick wit. Maybe it's the New York connection, whatever it may be, but a quick wit, an affability, he said, and a warmth. And I really appreciated greatly those words coming from such an icon, coming from somebody who paved the way, somebody who, has done this work for decades. Not an easy industry by any stretch of the imagination. The key is to all make it look easy, make it look seamless, as Regis did, and all the different things he did on stage, television, whatever it may be. He wore so many different hats, singing as well and entertaining, going on the telethons and everything else. So many great friends he had in the industry too, who honored and respected him. But it was like the mutual admiration society for one another. And I am still very blessed by that. And I will always remember that. And that's why I wanted to take time to share that personal story that I've had about Regis Philbin with all of you. I've shared it professionally on television and radio, but I wanted to share it with the audience here on the Jim Masters Show series because it, means a great deal. Share your comments too. Maybe you loved him when he was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, America's Got Talent, the other talk shows that he did. Maybe you remember him all the way back to the Joey Bishop Show or AM Los Angeles or the Regis Philbin Show in San Diego or anything else. They used to do commercials together too, Regis and Kelly, which were very funny. And I miss seeing those. He does have his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And of course, for television, that's why you see the little television icon there in the center of the star. Well-deserved and, greatly revered and honored Regis Philbin's star there on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I love doing these episodes like this where we're celebrating and remembering people in television and film and music and stage and all aspects of life. With all of you, because, we all need to remember, we all need to celebrate. We also all need moments to just take us away from the chaos of life, right? There's so much stress out there and so much chaos. Or to remember some of the good times and good moments and the people maybe that you admired, people that you've celebrated, the shows that you've enjoyed, the laughter and the funny moments over the years. That's a key thing. And that's what I wanted to do here as we celebrate Regis Philbin, again, going all the way back in time with the various co-hosts and the various shows and the various moments. Again, as I mentioned, he sang in the style of a crooner, like Dean Martin, like Frank Sinatra. You might have seen the episode of the Jim Masters Show that we did where Dean Martin's daughter, Dina Martin, who's also a dear friend, know her personally, love her dearly. She's an amazing talent. She was a guest on the Jim Masters Show series as well. You can see that archived on our YouTube channel as well, gang. There are hundreds and hundreds of episodes you can see with mega celebrity friends and special guests who joined us here on the Jim Masters Show to celebrate with us, free-flowing conversations, good times, and anything goes, which has been amazing. So yeah, he sang in the style of the traditional crooners, the Dean Martins, the Perry Comos, the Frank Sinatras, the Andy Williams, all contemporaries of Regis Philbin as well. So yeah, Regis was on television in our house on all these different shows. And we really, really looked forward to him in the morning on ABC, whether it was with Cindy Garvey or Ann Abernathy or Kathie Lee or Kelly or anything, or even his wife Joy when she would fill in, or anybody else who happened to be, co-hosting that day. His career spans the decades. His memories continue to this day. And again, we wanted to spend a moment celebrating Regis. There he is. Again, he passed in 2020, and but he will be fondly remembered. And I encourage you to share your memories of Regis Philbin. So many funny moments, so many special moments. There he is as a kid with his dreams, and so many moments that, again, are still etched into our minds. For me personally, having had a chance to know him and meet him on several occasions and chat with him and make sure that I let him know what I thought of him and his contributions to the industry, and to entertainment, to making us feel good. I was blessed to have that opportunity, and was taken back when he sort of returned those words in his beautiful, classy way. He was a good guy, folks. If you ever remember, some of these folks that you see on television, and in film and on stage, you always wonder, are they the real deal? Are they what you see? And sometimes they're not. Sometimes I've interviewed people sometimes professionally in my work in television and radio, and interviewing is only one thing that I do. I do a lot of other things in the industry, on camera and behind the scenes. But of people I've come across, sometimes not everybody is exactly what you would hope or expect. And a lot of people will tell you that. So when you do come across people who, they meet, if not exceed your expectations, it's a cool thing. For me, when I meet people, and I've met thousands of people over the years doing what I do as a public figure on television and radio here in America, the person that you see on screen, like with Regis and so many of these others, Carol Burnett we've talked about, Florence Henderson, and so many other greats, they're just like what you would hope they would be like: friendly, fun, warm, approachable. I like to be the same way. And so when, I meet people at events, galas, TV studios, radio studios, whatever it may be, just even, out on the street, same person here that you would get, in person. So that's a cool thing. And it's the best way to be authentic, right? They always talk about that. Regis Philbin certainly was, in a grand way. We say thank you, Regis. You carried the network. Again, that was a funny thing. And he carried the network in fine fashion. Rest in peace, my friend. That was something that he would say, he would say, I'm carrying the network. I'm only one man. He had these fantastic, witty, quick phrases that I absolutely loved. Sometimes just his mannerisms, his facial expressions when he was on, would say 1,000 words. Sometimes he didn't even have to say anything, in order to get you to smile and get you to laugh. He really loved people. He loved entertaining. He loved doing what he did. And you can tell. He was somebody who just absolutely loved every second of it. He loved the attention. He soaked it all up. He really did. And, if you didn't know him personally, you might have even said, boy, he really likes himself, doesn't he, huh? He loved what he did. That's the key. And he had so much fun with it. They even had wax figures. One of these days, maybe I'll show you that, a photo of it. There were wax figures done of Regis and I believe it was Kelly. or maybe Kathie Lee, at Madame Tussauds Wax Museum in New York City. And I've got a photo of that. I'll have to show it to you one of these days. But it was really, really cool. And it was on the set of Live. I think it was with Kelly Ripa and Regis. It was just a few years ago in New York City at Madame Tussauds. If you've never had a chance to visit Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, I visited the one that's in Amsterdam in the Netherlands too, and it's amazing. There are others, but the one in New York City is fantastic, and they change the exhibits all the time. And they had one where they created this lifelike wax figure of Regis Philbin, and it was really cool to see. And I don't know if if they brought that back out or not, but it was really, really fun. You almost thought you were really talking to him there. But again, over the many years, he graced us with his talent and his time. And again, working in television myself, that's why I wanted to put this episode together, because I know for me, it was something special, but I would hope for you as well. And, somebody who maybe didn't even grow up knowing Regis Philbin, maybe this is a lesson. Maybe this is a life lesson. Maybe you're in the industry and you've heard about Regis Philbin, didn't know anything really too much about him, and you wanted to learn more about him. Well, hopefully this gave you a little bit from somebody who knew him and knew of him as well. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed putting this together for you again, just pulling up some great memories, sharing with you some terrific moments and some of the shows and some of the great times that Regis Philbin shared with all of us in the various incarnations, the various roles. And I just laugh when I think of Regis because he made you laugh. And he was such a quick wit. And he really, he's missed. Isn't he, gang? Isn't he missed? Some of these people that I've been celebrating recently here on the Jim Masters Show series, they're really greatly missed. And they were special, and they were human too. Nobody's perfect. I'm not saying that Regis was perfect or Florence Henderson's perfect or I'm perfect or there's nobody that's perfect, but he was a gifted talent and just a real nice guy. And he was all about the art of presentation, show business, in a very classy way. Hey, if this is your first time watching the Jim Masters Show, we welcome you to our show. You've joined our Jim Masters Show Lovity family, as we call it. It's great to have you here. And if you like what you're watching, join us daily for more great episodes of the Jim Masters Show. And you can also see past episodes of our series. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them archived on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. If you enjoyed this episode, do give it a like. There's a thumbs up icon as well. But you can watch past episodes of our series, The Jim Masters Show, on the YouTube channel, which I think is really, really terrific. Yeah, we archive all of them there for you, so you can check that out and, enjoy the past episodes of our series. There are lots of them there, and some you may have never seen when they first aired. Some of them maybe you didn't see when they aired live, because a lot of our shows we do live. Sometimes we'll create something recorded just because it's of the time and of the moment. But you can check all that out. And gang, I really encourage you to share your memories of Regis Philbin and some of the great moments, the laughs, and everything else that you may remember. I can talk about him for a long time, and all these great people that we're celebrating here on the Jim Masters Show. It's a real pleasure to do it for you, gang. I always have a good time when we celebrate all these amazing people, whether they're with us, in person as a special guest on the Jim Masters Show, or maybe they're no longer with us and we're celebrating their contributions to society and to, in this case, entertainment. and television and all the rest that comes with it. Good stuff, gang, wasn't it? I hope you enjoyed it. Really enjoyed putting this episode together. If you enjoyed it, we encourage, would welcome, and would love for you to give this episode a like, a thumbs up like on our YouTube channel. Share this episode. Share the link from our YouTube channel on your social media so other people can see it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Jim Masters TV is the YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Doesn't cost anything. Make sure you click the notification bell icon too, so you'll be kept abreast and informed and alerted of all these great special episodes, tribute episodes, and live episodes and special guests in person here on the Jim Masters Show. You don't want to miss anything. So click the notification bell so you'll get a notification when we have a new episode. And we do a lot of shows. Those of you who watch us all the time, you guys know we do a lot of episodes. And they're a pleasure to present for all of you. Again, this series is not my full-time job. I work in television and radio, but we sort of created this as a way to stay further connected with you. And I really love it. Thanks for all of your continued love and support of the Jim Masters Show, Entertainment, Lifestyle, Celebrity Talk Show series. You can also follow us on social media as well. We're on Facebook and we're on X, formerly Twitter, and we're also on Instagram, all at Jim Masters TV. The YouTube channel is Jim Masters TV as well. And again, if this is your first time here, we welcome you to the Jim Masters Show. Come see us again and watch some of the past episodes too. Check out some of the past episodes. And for those of you who watch us all the time and support us and love what we're doing here, it is a unique show, conversational, free-flowing, fun. We thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and all the rest. Again, one more time, we want to say a very fond and farewell to our great friend, the one and only Regis Philbin, who was an icon in the industry and will be greatly, greatly missed. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I am your host, Jim Masters. We really enjoyed putting this episode together for you. I wanted to do it for quite some time, and this was truly a labor of love to do this as we celebrate Regis Philbin, one of the greats in our industry and in life. Truly was a star, and there's his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame once again. Cool stuff. All right, gang, thanks for all your time sticking with us. Just wanted to let you know, too, we've had so many great guests recently. Check out some of the past episodes. We've done other tribute episodes as well. And one of the recent guests we had on our show live, Stephanie Powers. Yeah, from Heart to Heart, the legendary TV and film actress, not just Heart to Heart with Robert Wagner, but, oh boy, a legend. So many films, so many shows and specials. She had a wonderful time on our show. We had a wonderful time with her as a special guest, and so many others who've been with us here on the program. All right, gang, one more time, we thank you for being with us as we remember together the one and only Regis Philbin. Come see us again. I'm your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time. Again, you can see all the past archived episodes on our YouTube channel. It's always a blast when you're with us. Don't forget to love one another, take care of one another, and don't forget to do the very same for yourself. Always take time to laugh, to celebrate, to share life, maybe inspire others. I try to do that on our show. Hopefully, what we're doing here at the Jim Masters Show inspires you maybe and takes you away from the chaos of everyday life. And it's a blast to do it for you. So come see us again. Spread the word about our show. Tell everybody you know that we're here. And we welcome all our viewers watching around the world. So thanking you again for your time this time. Till next time. Jim Masters here at the Jim Masters Show. Be well, everybody. Rest in peace, Regis Philbin. We love you all. Take care. We'll see you on the next one right here on the Jim Masters Show. Be well. Cheers.